After our stay in Olympia, Washington with Robin, we had a long drive down the West Coast to our next interview in Los Angeles. With 6 days to kill, we took our time and visited many of the national parks and beaches along the way.
Along our West Coast interview road trip, we were going to be driving close to where I used to live during my childhood. It's been 20 years since I've even seen Modesto, or California for that matter. I thought it was a good time to go and visit what helped shape me. This looks a whole lot nicer than it used to. And that's where I used to live. My bedroom, and the bush used to still be there, and then my dog that I told you about lived in the bush right there because it was not inside the house. One of these trees, not the cop car, but the other car crashed into.
Oh wow.
And right across the street here is where the guy got stabbed, and he ran down this alley. And that white gate, we bought that white gate and put it on that door. I mean, it's not completely different. It looks familiar.
So you can see how it's grown.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. That was my old school. None of these fences used to be here. And none of the hallways are inside. There's just a door here.
Was it always like that?
Yeah. Well, the door was never here. Look at all the plants outside the doors. That's cute. It was an interesting experience revisiting my childhood. I really don't know what to think about it. It was fun to see the growth and positive change, and and the neighborhood I used to live in appeared to be no longer run down.
After a quick tour through San Francisco, we met up with Dyana Carmella. She's a fellow YouTuber and thru hiker. Like me, she made an unusual decision to hike the Pacific Northwest Trail as her first thru hike. And also like me, that hike changed the course of her whole life.
It's very defined. The turning point which made me want to do the PNT is very substantial. I was passing out samples in a grocery store, and I just remember I was probably at my lowest I'd ever been in my life. Just like super, I didn't know what was wrong, but my body was in one place and my mind was completely in a different place. And I didn't know who I was. I was just drifting, you know? And I locked myself in the freezer. I went into the freezer to restock one of the shelves and the door slammed shut on me. And I went into a full-blown panic and I was stuck in there for about 5 minutes, but it felt like eternity. And I was in this dark, cold place and I full-blown panic. Like, and then this cute man opened the door and said, "The lever's right there," you know, but it was dark. And he came in and I just sat with this guy and he opened up some coconut waters, like sitting in this refrigerator in Whole Foods, and we're just talking to each other. And yeah, I just hated myself. I mean, that's the best way to say it. I just didn't like who I was. That night, I remember I was laying in my bed on Instagram and I saw a photo. I'll never forget it. One of my friends, his first name's Peter, and he was doing the Pacific Northwest Trail, and I didn't know what that was. And I saw this picture of him. It wasn't of him. I saw this picture of his sleeping bag and his sleeping pad on this mountain ridge overlooking the mountains, and the sun was setting. And I don't know what happened. Something in my mind, something just clicked. That second, I just became drawn to it, and I thought about it for months, every day for months. I was really scared, but I chose the PNT because I wanted to be alone. I think that year 6,000 people did the Pacific Crest Trail. I didn't want to see anybody. I think the year I did it, 30 people started the PNT. Yeah, and I never expected to finish. I was going to do 100 miles. That was my goal. If I could just do 100 miles, I'll be so proud of myself. I truly felt I call her Mother Nature. I really felt like she was looking after me. Just after Glacier National Park, it was hailing for 2 days, and I was freezing, absolutely freezing, and like I was soaking wet. I was freezing. I started to pray to her, like, I need help. I need help. Please help me. That's all I said. I said it out loud. Please, I need help. 45 seconds later, the hail stopped. And it was like a scene from a movie. I picked up my head and I looked around, and the hail turned into mist. And then I saw about 7 feet away a beam of light that just shot through the trees. And I went over there and I put my face directly in the middle of that beam so I could feel the heat on my face. And it was like steam coming from my face because I was so cold. And I just felt this line. And then I just closed my eyes and I sat in that for about 30 seconds. I opened my eyes. There were thousands of beams of light coming through the tree, thousands of them hitting through the mist. And you know, and I looked, it was like being in a wonderland of light. It was like a light show of sunlight. And all of this happened within probably 90 seconds. You know, it's like she like listened, you know, it's like, she listened. Going from that freezer to doing one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life and getting to the end and seeing the open water, like that difference right there, that's life-changing. Like what happened in between that time, that's life-changing. And I wish people can understand that. Of if you are stuck, you do something that pushes yourself past your limits, past what you think you're capable of, and you will be okay. As human beings, we are capable of so much more, and we will never fully realize it because we're scared. We're so scared, but what happens when you become unscared and you just take that step of saying, I'm going to do it, just deciding to do it, and just seeing what happens to your life, and I wish people who are fearful and people who are sad and depressed could understand that. Just pick something that'll challenge yourself, and it'll save you. Like the PNT saved me, that hike, I'm not the same person I was when I was stuck in the freezer.
Diana's story was inspiring, and it illustrates the kind of positive change that the wilderness can bring into somebody's life. She took the steps, and she did the necessary work to improve her own life, but the wilderness provided the environment for that to take place. Next, we are heading further south to San Diego, where we will meet Barney and Sandy Mann. They hiked the PCT together, and Barney wrote a popular book about their adventures. It includes stories of other hikers they met along the way called Journeys North.